Did you see Mexico? Now I haven't seen the Mexico USA thing overall, but I saw Mexico is suing the U.S. gun manufacturer. You see that?
The U.S. gun manufacturing.
Yeah,
Why they suing?
because they said that that is the reason for like the cartels and all the stuff that's going on in Mexico because of U.S. gun manufacturers. What do you think of that?
I
Just
mean,
out of curiosity.
so I mean, 'cause I ain't gonna say whether they is or they not. But if they is not like the
Oh,
U.S. is
and let
just
me let me give you one more thing that they put in the suit. It's because so one it was the Colt the brand the U.S. brand.
hmm
They have a gun called El Jefe, and they said that they market to. So that's the suit. It's like they're marketing to the cartel because they have a gun called El Jefe, but they're suing all the U.S. gun manufacturers because the cartel uses U.S. guns.
all
But
right.
yeah, that was in the suit, so I just felt like I had to take.
The cartel using guns. That means that them guns is working. First off, like, but I mean, if I don't know, that don't make sense to me. Like if they buy the guns, I mean, we just sold them. Why
I
they
don't know if
suing
they
us?
bought them. They ain't no confirmed that they
Oh, so
bought them.
they think the U.S. I'm be. You think we just gave the cartel some
I don't
guns?
think like what. Uh, I don't really know. I don't know.
I
I
know.
don't.
Yeah,
I don't know how they got all these guns. Like they could have bought them, for sure. They could have bought them. Like they could have just bought the guns, but it also could they could have bought them through a third party. So it could have not been directly from the U.S. gun manufacturers. But the from what and this isn't just like with Mexico in the sense of they sue the gun manufacturers a lot because the U.S. government doesn't necessarily sue it, but it'd be like different groups that sue the gun manufacturer. And it's not necessarily to like win the lawsuit. Sometimes it'd be just to like keep them in court. Because if you keep somebody in court forever, eventually the money gonna dry up. So like, there's been some people that be like, yeah, they keep U.S. gun manufacturers in court nonstop because if you constantly have to pay all these legal fees over and over and over and over and over again, even if they don't win the lawsuit, eventually you gonna either change something or your company gonna fold. You feel me? So
hmm
I don't know if that's something that Mexico is trying to do. I think they just pointing the blame, and right now they at beef or whatever that's going on. So it's like sue the gun. Like my thing is, what does me making a gun have to do with you, daggone? As long as I'm not selling it directly to the cartel, like in or anybody illegal that cannot legally own the firearm, what's the problem? I ain't do nothing wrong. Now, what happens after that? Hey, you can't hold me accountable for that.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, you feel me? Like,
That's why I said them guns is working, and that means they losing.
that's
They
been going on a long time.
they try to find some answers, but they
Been going on a long time. But
that's
yeah,
kind of wild. To be real, I guess you gotta when you got them leaders when they ask them all the questions. I mean, shoot, you gotta get some answers somewhere.
it's the U.S. gun manufacturer. Smith and Wesson, it's your fault.
Your fault. But if they did, them, I believe full handedly, them cartels gonna get guns one way or another.
Regardless. And I'm sure
So
they're not only using U.S. guns. I'm sure they're using Russian guns. They're using they're using guns from
exactly,
everywhere. Like
exactly.
it ain't just U.S.
Cause I
But
know they got money. I know they got
for
money.
sure, for
So
sure,
money
money
gonna
ain't an issue. Money ain't an issue.
they gonna get it. They gonna get it
Yeah,
one way
they're
or
gonna get it
another.
regardless. 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 But yeah, what else was going on with Mexico? Because like I said, I didn't catch up with it, but Um, but what else was going on? I know it was with the tariffs, right?
With the tariffs, and then we put, I believe we talked about there was, I don't know if it was an executive order or it was just an agreement between U.S. and Mexico about um, like, I think Mexico put part of their military at the border along with the U.S.
Yeah,
Border control,
yeah.
and they
We
supposed to be
talked about that.
cracking down on basically people bringing drugs in, drug
Yeah, yeah,
trafficking and stuff like that. So they supposed to
yeah. We
be.
talked about that before. Cause that was what when the dude was telling me I love Trump. That's what I was saying. I was like they've been using it as a negotiation tool to get Mexico and Canada like to do different things. Like, and that was all I was saying. And that seems to be what's going on.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
still.
and I knew that it was also like drugs because we talked about that as well. Like drugs that come from over the thing, which also ties into like the lawsuit. Like, all right, you're suing us because the cartel has guns. All right, what about all the fentanyl that comes from over here that kills all these people? And
Right.
I bet you there's probably more people that die from fentanyl than there's die from the gun violence over there.
Yep.
So it's like, should we be suing y'all because of the fentanyl, or like, what's going on here?
And then it'd be, I know this is not Mexico in particular, but like the countries, these drug runners, because that's really what they are. They like the runners.
Yeah,
Like it's not like they're here when they're here being like outstanding people.
yeah,
Like they be violent, and
yeah,
if they get in a situation where the pressure starts getting to them,
yeah.
they
Because you
gonna
gotta
do.
think like a lot of this drug, because it's not necessarily all coming from Mexico. Like it's coming from like China has like a big fentanyl thing, like, and they'll bring it over here, like, or bring
Mhm.
it over to Mexico and then bring it through the border. So it's
Exactly.
like you're allowing all of this, which is the whole reason of a lot of this nonsense. It's I don't know. I don't know. It's some weird stuff going on. Some weird stuff. But yeah, when I saw that, I said, "You gonna sue the gun baby, right? That's crazy. That's crazy, man."
So you know how we like it's been some episodes where we talked about this is when he was doing the executive orders how he was deporting people, right? But then the countries weren't taking those people back.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, where did they go? Like he got them Guantanamo Bay, like
Sheesh.
in deportation camps.
Dang.
He's shipping people overseas, their own little island in deportation camps.
That's
They can't
tough.
get them out of here. That's yeah. They don't let you. They don't let them come back. And I know in them camps they is not living
No. 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 No.
humane. I'm already knowing.
No. No.
I'm already knowing.
That's tough. That's tough. I mean, but it's a lot. It's spooky out there right now, man. It's spooky, spooky, spooky. Um, sheesh. Yeah, yeah. But I mean that. I think we said that in the thing. They're gonna send them somewhere.
Yeah, just
Now where they gonna send them? I don't know. They gonna send them somewhere
didn't
though.
know where. 'Cause
Yeah.
I remember I asked, you think they're gonna let them come back here? Be
No.
outstanding
I knew they
citizens?
wasn't gonna come back here. I knew they wasn't coming back here. No way. No way they was coming back here. Not the
Yeah.
way he was talking.
Well, I don't know. How long you think that can go before
I'm sure
somebody
there's
somewhere gonna be like,
I'm sure
what?
there's something like some laws that is in place for something like that. Like as far as like how you got to treat the people, how long you can hold them. But the
Hmm.
problem is because technically they're technically criminals. Like whether you agree with it or not, like they came here illegally. Um, they didn't go through the process or whatever. So technically, you committed a crime against the federal government. So you lose a lot of rights instantly when you do that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the international and the laws that is in place, like, because like there's war laws and stuff like that, which is another thing with, like, when I was doing like all this research, was with the Ukraine and Russia. Like, apparently Russia just did, or it was either like a couple weeks ago or so, they was doing like firing squads and stuff like that. Like, so there's some crazy stuff going on out there. Like, you know what I mean? But yeah, like, there's laws against some of this stuff. Now, how you enforce them and how they get enforced is a whole nother thing. But I'm sure there's something in place for against certain things. You know what I mean? But I can't tell you the answers. I don't know the answers. I ain't got the answers, Sway.
Now you gotta wait and find out, man. I told you, you was trying to blow past all this stuff. He didn't think none of this was going.
Well, I still don't think the countries. My biggest thing was the country. I don't think much is going to go with these countries that we were specifically talking about, which was Canada in the U.S. and Mexico in the U.S. I don't think a whole lot is going to go on with the countries themselves. I
mean, I still feel like it's too early to say, because it's like all this, like the little things have to pile up, like, and they have.
It's going to be a lot of piling, though.
I mean, that's usually the wars start over a lot of piling. They get one or two enemies link up and become alliance, and next thing you know,
ain't no way they gonna become enemies.
Next thing you know, you heard.
You think they're gonna be enemies? Like, there's a difference between we're not on good terms and we're enemies. Like, that is a big, like, U.S. Iran enemies, right? Which we can talk about the Houthis if they is bombing the dog spit out of them over there right now. The U.S. and Iran, those was enemies, right? U.S. and Canada they just going back and forth. They ain't even enemy. They ain't even on bad terms right now.
I don't think Canada. Canada is a friendly country. Like, I don't think they're gonna be enemies. Really, I don't think
Mexico ain't about to. Mexico is not.
Mexico might not directly.
They ain't about to.
But they might.
They can't control the cartels. You think they gonna fight U.S.?
So another country come in and provide a solution for that. Next thing you know, they're in alliance.
Well, the U.S. ain't gonna allow another country to do it.
Yeah.
Before they allow somebody come over here, whether it's a China, Russia, or anybody, Iran, like anybody, they let anybody come out. They is about to. Hey, we were shutting all that down. that was the whole thing with the Cuban Missile thing years ago. That was the whole thing, because y'all letting who come over here and put missiles? Negative. Negative, Ghost Rider. Like, that, they ain't about to let that happen.
Yeah, for sure.
They gonna be seeing U.S. air support coming across their daggone airways before they let anybody come up in there. You sending drugs and stuff on the border is one thing. You daggone letting somebody come in and start putting military presence down is a whole nother thing, which is also part of the Panama Canal. They was talking about China took over the Panama Canal. You see what they trying to do with that? Hey, we ain't give that back to y'all for y'all to let China do that. Y'all go ahead. We taking that back. China, y'all move on. Which I don't like how they did that. Well, it's hard to come up with that type of money that quickly. But BlackRock, I don't know if you're familiar with BlackRock, but they be doing some shady, nasty stuff, man.
What they be doing?
That's a whole nother conversation that we can have another day if you want to really have that conversation. But do your research on BlackRock. Like, you can just look it up on YouTube. Like, for any listeners, look at BlackRock and the stuff that they do behind the scenes. Them mother suckers. Yeah. The guy that runs BlackRock, he literally called himself a god. So you see the type of mindset he on already. And you just gave him how many shipping ports? Well, they bought it, but you just bought how many shipping ports? Like, some nasty business, man. Nasty, nasty, nasty business. Any more other international affairs you want to talk about?
No, not really,
I ain't
man.
got
Not
a
really,
whole
because
lot
I ain't
right
gonna
now.
jump. I'm not gonna jump in on Trump. There was something he had a meeting, but I forgot the country. I gotta look. I'm gonna talk about it next time. They made.
About what?
I feel like this could be taken some different ways. I personally feel like they made some threats. You know, I'm not gonna say threats, but it felt like some threats. They could be definitely perceived as threats. Um, but it's like he entertained the idea of um some warfare coming to American soil.
Who said that?
I gotta it was one of them foreign countries leaders, man. I gotta look.
Well, Iran had a $3 million assassin bond on his head for the last. Apparently, it's been since 2020, but they like reissued it when he ran for office again in 2024, and they was trying to assassinate him all year.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I just watched a video on that, and like apparently it was a bunch of attempts. We just didn't hear about it. But yeah, but that's crazy. That's insane.
That's what I'm saying, man. But folks, what they say, talk is the cheapest thing a man can do.
Yeah, it don't cost you nothing to run your mouth. Well, I guess it can cost you something. It can. There's definitely consequences behind some of the things that you say.